Thanks, Brandis. Earlier in the program, we discussed President Biden's aggressive agenda, and now we're joined again by Representatives Sean Casten, Marie Newman, and Robin Kelly. We invited every Republican member of the Illinois Congressional delegation. None accepted our invitation. Once again, we're glad that you're all here. I want to talk about redistricting, the census. The apportionment numbers are out. As expected, Illinois will lose a seat in Congress. And Congresswoman Kelly, we also got the announcement that Representative Sherry Bustos, who represents central and western Illinois around the Quad Cities there, she is going to step down in 2022. That's a very middle-of-the-road district. Are you worried that that's going to be a difficult one for Democrats to hang on to?
No, I think that, we don't know what the mapping will look like yet, but if it's, done right and done as much as we can to make sure that we have a fair chance of keeping the seat and winning the seat, I think that will be okay. And I know that's how Sherry feels also. And
Congressman Casten, as we mentioned, the state does lose a seat. That means, someone who's currently in the delegation now will not be. Obviously, if Democrats do have their way drawing the map, it would probably be a Republican district. What do you think is going to happen to the map?
Look, the important thing is we need to do fair mapping. Let's trust our people to do the maps fairly to make sure that we're all represented properly. As far as what's happened, I think, and we won't know this until we get all the detailed information back, but I think that what we've seen in Illinois is really a part of a broader national trend of the rural areas are depopulating. Illinois has lost population, but I expect that most of that population loss is going to be downstate. And since, congressional districts, if we do the math right, we all represent roughly the same number of people. That means that those downstate districts are probably going to get bigger. And, I think the estimates are that the Chicagoland suburbs, the population has been flat, maybe slightly rising. Maybe there's been a slight migration from the city to the suburbs. We'll have to see, but that detailed granular level data, including making sure that we didn't have any undercounts in areas of some of the harder to reach communities, we really won't know that for certain until August.
And Congresswoman Kelly, I want to go back to you for a second. You are the head of the Democratic Party. You said draw the maps right. I mean, do you support the Democratic Party, continuing to sort of hold sway over this process? As you know, Governor Pritzker had campaigned on an independent commission, and now is saying that that's not going to be the case. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, it's really up to President Harmon and Speaker Welch to put everything together. They draw their maps and then they draw the congressional maps too. And from my conversations with them, they want to make sure it is a fair map representing the diversity of the state, and they want communities to feel that they have a say. So in my conversations with them, that's what they want to do. So I have full faith in them that these type of maps will be drawn.
All right, let's move over to the issue with Congresswoman Liz Cheney. Former President Donald Trump, he told an audience at his Mar-a-Lago club last week that a partisan-led vote recount in Arizona will find more votes for him, he believes. Take a look at what he said and Republican leader Liz Cheney's response.
Let's see what they find. I wouldn't be surprised if they found thousands and thousands and thousands of votes. So we're going to watch that very closely. And after that, you'll watch Pennsylvania and you'll watch Georgia and you're going to watch Michigan and Wisconsin.
We should not be embracing the former president.
All right, so and Liz Cheney basically calling it the big lie, this lie that the election was stolen. Obviously, the former president saying things that are patently false. Congresswoman Marie Newman, what does it say about the GOP here that Cheney does risk losing her leadership position, and do you believe that's what's going to happen?
Well, I think Congresswoman Cheney is representing principles that we don't often see in the Republican Party. So good on her for speaking truth to power. And then further, I mean, everybody that talks about this Arizona audit, it's ridiculous, right? We've already certified the election, so you can't do anything about it. They've spent a lot of money on this and manpower, and there's nothing that can be done with whatever result that they come up with, how wacky it is. So it is a colossal waste of time and money. But I appreciate Liz Cheney's comments, and I hope she continues to speak truth to power.
Congressman Casten, when you talk to members of Congress in the Republican Party about this issue, I mean, what do they tell you? You have a lot of them now trying to sort of hedge, avoid the issue. The leader, Kevin McCarthy, at first had admonished the president for his action on January 6th and walked that back a little bit. What are you hearing from your colleagues?
It's pretty tense right now. I'll be honest, Paris. You know, January 6th was not that long ago. The clip you just played of Donald Trump, this is a small, broken man who simply cannot accept math and cannot understand that for 535 plus president and vice president, 537 of us who are federally elected have the honor of holding an office that we must all appreciate is bigger than us. The peaceful transfer of power is core to this government. And the fact that 137 members of the Republican caucus, after the House was attacked, after they were incented to attack us, as Liz Cheney said, you inflamed the mob. After they came, 137 members of the House GOP voted with them to overturn the results of election, including some of them in states where they were just elected. And there's a challenge. We can all disagree. We may have wild differences of opinion on the policy issues of the day, and it's our power to vote. But for folks who voted to take away the votes of other people, it's hard. And that, in the Republican caucus, I think right now is split between those who are, either too cowardly to stand up or who are hostile to the idea of democracy. And I give tremendous credit to Liz Cheney for not taking either of those two doors. I just wish that she wasn't in such a lonely position in her caucus.
We only have a few seconds. Congresswoman Kelly, what does that portend for your ability to work across the aisle as you have most of the Republican Party basically spreading this very dangerous lie about the election and going forward saying that?
Well, I've always worked in a very bipartisan way since I've come to Congress, but I'm not going to lie that since the insurrection, where myself and Sean Casten were on our knees hoping to get out of the gallery. I don't work with as many Republicans as I used to, but I still work with Republicans that, gave Joe Biden his credentials and voted for that. So I still try to work with some. And even when I saw Liz Cheney, I just said to her, hang in there. But no, I don't work with as many as I used to because it's absolutely ridiculous what they're trying to do. And I give Liz Cheney, not that we vote alike, but all the credit in the world for hanging in there.
Certainly tense situation, and our thanks to Representatives Sean Casten, Marie Newman, and Robin Kelly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.